Hello everybody, and welcome to a tour of my bookcase. Now this has been in almost all of my videos. This is my very first one. So I thought I'd give you a tour of this piece of channel history. So let's get started. Now this is arranged via genre, not Dewey Decimal System. So we start at the top, and we have the year's best science fiction. 4 of those, arranged via year, 13th year, 15th. Then we have the Nebula, which is basically a collection of planet-side adventure stories. Full Spectrum, again, a collection of short works. Time Travelers, another collection of short stories. Now we get into genre via author. I have all of Asimov's stuff, from his early science fiction work, early Asimov, to Robot and Empire, Foundation and Empire, and Earth, another series of short stories, this time about possible apocalypse scenarios. Then we move on to Orson Scott Card with Children of the Mind, Shadow of the Hegemon, and Ender's Shadow right there. Adorning this level, we also have many of my Star Wars figurines. I very rarely get tired of playing with that, but I've moved most of them out of the way so we can concentrate on this channel. Now, we go on to the classic book, Red Mars, then H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, Stephanie Meyer's The Host, soon to be turned into a movie, and Anne McCaffrey's The Dragon Riders of Pern. Now, that is with the science, not the fantasy, because it actually takes place on an alien planet. Now we start getting into fantasy with Michael Crichton's Prey and The Lost World. Now, I think he is a very good author to bridge the genre between sci-fi, drop down, and fantasy, along with M. McCaffrey. Now, down here, we have Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld and Behemoth by Scott Westerfeld. Moving on, we have Fly By Night, a dystopian runaway book. Then, of course, the famous book Hunger Games. Insurgent and Divergent, which are being gifted to me by a friend. I have not read them yet. And Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. Then we get into my series of unfortunate events. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, and 13. And now we get into my collection of Brian J. Crease Redwall. We have Redwall, Rickety Tam, Redwall, Matalino, Martin the Warrior, Salamanstrong, Tangerine. Now, keeping in the theme with talking animals, we then move on to Narnia, a complete bound edition, with a slight tear in it, but I got it for 50 cents, so that's good. Then we have Earthborn, another Orson Scott Card book about talking animals. Then we have J.R.R. Tolkien's Children of Húrin, and the third book in the Game of Thrones, J.R.R. Martin's Storm of Swords. And that finishes up my fantasy section. Now moving down here, we have more classic novels, starting with Sea Stories, thus The Ship. Sea Wolf by Jack London, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and because these are both in the same edition, we now have Mark Twain, Prince and the Pauper. That moves us on to classic literature, Sense and Sensibility, Phantom of the Menace, oh, wrong genre, should be up there. No, Phantom of the Opera. 2 books of all of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's works, meaning I have every Sherlock Holmes story ever published. Journey to the Center of the Earth, Utopia, Macbeth, the James Herriot's All Things Bright and Beautiful, and All Things Great and Small. This brings us more out of classic literature, and Anne Frank bridges us between classic and The Fault in Our Stars with the teen fantasy novels. We now have The Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiser and Bourne Deception, another piece in the Bourne trilogy book. Now we have a bunch of how-to books, which makes sense because of the James Bond. Sneaky Gadgets, Mythbusters, Les Stroud, Survivor Man, How to Survive in Survival Situations. Dangerous Book of Boys, Big Book of Boy Stuff, and then yearbooks and Dragons, How to Draw books, which I'm a big fan of. Dropping down, we have more how-to books. Back to Basics, a book about the Dead Sea Scrolls I got when they were touring, Boy Scout Handbook, and Big Boy's Book of Adventures. Then I have a book on script writing, Motorcycle Owner's Manual, and a book of U.S. geography. Now dropping down, we get into the hard stuff, the textbooks. Science of Sound, The Way Things Work, Technical Drawings, Definition of Guitar, Biography of Yanni. And then we have all of my guitar books, music books, magazines, and that pretty much sums it up, except somewhere I have a book of 5th year applied physics. That is every book on this bookshelf. And this is only mine. Our entire family has like 3 other bookcases. So you guys get to pick any of these books. I prefer it if you didn't pick a technical book. I prefer something fiction or non-fiction, but not like a teaching book, because I get enough school already, guys. Come on, have some mercy on me. I will do a review of whatever book you guys pick and put it up on this channel. Put your ideas or suggestions in the comment section below, and the comment with the most upvotes is the book I will review, and I'll probably repeat this process. Bye guys, thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow for next day's Vita.